Hello everyone. So my name is Ahmad Al-Zaham bin Zadin. I'm from BIX Malaysia, Bond and Sukuk Information Platform. So we are here to do a bit of presentation and teaching a bit about Bond and Sukuk in Malaysia. So this presentation particularly is for the retail investor. So basically it's for the beginners, for people that are interested to start investing in Bond and Sukuk, and also interested to learn more about this market. Um, I will open my, you can see on the screen above on the right, I think, is actually there's a QR code. So if you can scan the QR code, you will go to the website. So it will go to the mobile app, and the mobile app will have, we will have an ebook there to actually explain a little bit more about Bond and Sukuk. And that ebook is very suitable for beginners if you are interested in it. So let me open the presentation for today. Okay, searching for the right Bond and Sukuk. So BIX Malaysia is a information platform where we centralize information on bond and sukuk in Malaysia. So we centralize information from Bank Negara, Bursa, SC and other related parties to centralize all the information about bond and sukuk. What the idea is to become a one-stop center where investor and also future potential investor can actually come to get this information, and also for issuer to get more information as well. So the idea for today is actually how do you actually do this kind of research, and how do you look for information about bond and sukuk. So we started with what is bond and sukuk. So basically for an organization, for companies, there are two ways that they can raise funding. First is actually through the stock market, which is they sell their shares. The second one is actually through the bond market. So in the bond market, the company that want to raise financing will be an issuer where they issue bond and sukuk. An investor will be the one that actually giving this money to this issuer in return of a fixed kind of return. For example, this is where the coupons comes in. Example is that someone raised a 1 million bond or sukuk. So you as an investor, I want have to have a part of it because they are promising like a 5% coupon. So if let's say you buy a 10-year bond, meaning that in that 10 year, every year you will get 10% return, and at the end of the 10 year, you will get back your money that you invested. So this is the general type of bond in Malaysia. So the first one is government bond. This is the largest bond in Malaysia. MGS, Malaysia Government Securities is its name, and for the Islamic side, it's actually called Government Islamic Instruments. And for the short term, we have Bank Negara Monetary Notes. The second one is actually government guaranteed bond. So this is the type of corporate bond that are guaranteed by the government. For example, it's PTTN and Prasarana, meaning that they, as a corporate, they issue this bond to investor, and in case of default, investor can actually claim the money from the government. That's why it's called government guarantee. And we also have quasi-government. This is like a partly government kind of issuer, meaning that they issue as a corporate. They are not guaranteed by the government, but some form the organizations are from GLCs. So example is Khazanah bond and also Chagamas. And the fourth is the normal one that you may know, which is a corporate bond. For example, here is like Telecom Malaysia and Maybank, where they want to raise financing through issuing bond or sukuk. So for people that doesn't know, sukuk is actually the Islamic side of bond. So this is the infrastructure of bond market in Malaysia. So at top is a pre-issue. This is before issuance, like a pre-IPO kind of things. So example here, we have a Telecom Malaysia as an issuer, and Telecom Malaysia will go to an advisor. So this advisor will be like investment bank. In this case, is a joint venture between M Invest and CIMB. And because they want to issue a sukuk, they will have to have a Sharia advisor. In this case, they appointed CIMB Islamic. And as a bond, you need to have a trustee. So the trustee will be the in-betweener between the bondholder and also the issuer. So in this case, they appointed M Trustee Berhad, and then they also need to be rated. There are only two rating agencies in Malaysia, MARC and RAM, and in this case, they chosen RAM. So this is pre-issue. So during the issuance, during the primary market, the facility agent which is M-Invest, actually will engage with the principal dealer. So this principal dealer is from 12 conventional bank and 7 Islamic bank. And this principal dealer will actually sell it to the institutional investor, or in some case, the retail investor. And once it go to the market, then you will have the secondary market. The secondary market is between the bond holder. So before this, bond market are only accessible to institutional investor and high net worth individual. So in this case, institutional investor will actually buy or sell within themselves. Only recently, SC actually come out with a regulation to allow retail investor to this market. So in this case, institutional investor can also represent retail investor to buy in the secondary market. So you see on the right side, there's two regulator versus Securities Commission Malaysia because it's in regards to the issuance. And then there are also Bank Negara Malaysia in regards of the players, the national investors, mostly of them are banks. So it's also under Bank Negara jurisdictions. So you look, if you're talking about bond information, there's BIX Malaysia there. And this is where you can get all the information that all the data are actually live 15 minutes. So every time there's a transaction in the bond market, by right, it should be transferred in the market, and it will be in the website itself. And last is bond valuation. So of course you also need the valuation, and the one that actually have the license from IC to do bond pricing is actually BPAM. You can look up for these people, this player, and to get more information of them. And also you can also look up in the BIGS ebook. So if you want to invest in bond and Sukuk, you have to understand this key feature of it. So the first one is bond issuer, bond covenant, bond maturity, bond coupon, and Sukuk contract. So bond issuer, it's like buying stocks. You have to understand the business. You have to understand the nature of the business. Is it a highway? Is it power plant? Is it building? Because the business have to make money to pay back the debt. Then you need to know what are they going to use the funding for? Are they going to use for capital expenditure? Are they going to use it to expand? So you need to know what's the funding for. And of course, you need to know the financial performance, the margin improvement, positive cash flow. So basically, this is for the credit side of the issuer. And lastly is credit rating. Credit rating is like it's like a simplified way for you to know the credit situation of the issuer. So the thing about bond is that there are not much information that are accessible to investor. The reason is because if you are a bond holder, it's not as the same as you are a stockholder. So a stockholder, you have a piece of a company. A bond holder, you only owe the debt itself. So rating agency will actually summarize it for you. They will do a research for you and they will come up with a credit rating. And you can actually look at this credit rating as a summary of what is actually happening for the issue itself. And then for them also, they do regulate their rating regularly, meaning that there are sometimes if the company doing bad, then the rating agency will actually rate down the rating. And from there, you can see why they rated down. So easy for you to identify which side of the business that you need to analyze. So second is bond maturity. So you need to understand the maturity you're getting into. For example, one issuer can issue many maturity of bond. So they can issue 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years. So you as an investor, you have to understand and have to decide which kind of maturity you want to enter into. And you have to know that longer maturity means higher risk. And higher risk means higher return, meaning that if you want with the same issuer, you can get a higher return if you choose a longer maturity. So number 3 is bond covenant. Bond covenant is a legally binding term of agreement between bond issuer and a bondholder. So you can get this at the PTC, the Principal Terms and Conditions, and you can get it in BIGS Malaysia. The PTC, the covenant will actually hold the bond issuer what they can do or what they cannot do over the life of the bond. So meaning that there are certain things they cannot use the money for and certain things that they can use the money for. So when you enter the agreement, you know what they can or cannot do. So they have to hold it. If not, it will actually trigger an event of default. So the next is bond coupon and bond yield. So bond coupon is the return that you will get when they issue. For example, when Telecom Malaysia issue their bond, so example, they promise a coupon of 5%. So throughout the years, throughout these 5 years of issuance, if let's say you want to buy in the secondary market, the yield will be different than the coupon, because it have to be deducted from the missed dividend that you didn't get. Let's say you buy it second year later, so you have to minus the coupon of the year you didn't get, so you will end up getting a higher or lower yield based on the interest. So basically, yield and bond price move the other way around. So meaning an increase in yield will decrease of the bond value. So the fifth most important thing is actually Sukuk contract. Sukuk can be structured based on non-Islamic contract. So in Islam, there are no such thing as a guaranteed return. So that's why the Sukuk contract is there for Sukuk. So the application of Islamic contract will result in Sukuk being backed by asset and provided a built security for investment. For example, like Musyarakah, under the structure is actually a joint venture, meaning that the risks are actually held by the issuer and also the investor. So meaning that there's a possibility that you won't get back the coupon under if the business are not doing good. So now you know the key features of bond. Now you need to understand what are the risks investing in bond and Sukuk. The first one is interest rate risk. So example is that a 5% coupon bond is worth more if interest rate decrease. So example that you buy today at 5%, meaning that every year you get 5% return, 5% return. But let's say then suddenly tomorrow the government actually decrease the interest rate of the country itself. So meaning if someone want to buy the same bond, they can only get like 4%. So meaning that your bonds right now is actually worth more because yours can get a 5% annual income. So that's the interest rate risk there, because it also worked the other way around. And the second risk is inflation risk. So the idea is that the future money won't be the same value of the current value of the current money. Like for example, that when you invest in bond, you will only get back all your money in after your maturity. For let's say you go for 5 years. So throughout the 5 years, every year the value of your money will be eaten up of inflation. So your profit after 5 years may not be as much as your profit right now. So this is the inflation risk. The third is credit rating. So you have to understand that this is the rating given by RAM and MARC. So the higher the rating, the higher the rating, the lower the risk, means the lower the return from you. However, this is the easiest way for you to actually see where you are comfortable. For example, if it's a AAA bond, and then suddenly there's a negative outlook by the rating agency, and from there you can see why is there negative outlook, and you can see is it a possibility that they will turn around. And it's very easy for you to monitor your bond based on the credit rating. So you don't have to do your financial analysis and all your in-depth research based on that. The credit rating will basically do everything for you. And number four is reinvestment risk. The idea about reinvestment risk is that if let's say right now I can buy it for 5% for 2 years, and then 2 years later the bond mature, and at that time the interest average for the same kind of bond is only 4%, meaning that I have a risk of where do I put back the money, and I cannot get the same amount of return. So this is reinvestment risk. So you need to do placements where you want to put the money. For example, is it you invest in bond, and every time you receive coupon, you can actually invest your coupon in fixed deposit as an example. So by the end of the duration, your average return will actually be higher. Right. So that's the idea about. That is a very simple idea for you to understand about bond and Sukuk in Malaysia. You already understand the infrastructure, you understand what type of bond is there, you understand the key feature, and then you also already understand about the risk involved with this. So I would like to play these slides. I don't know if you can. It's okay. So I move on. So Bix Malaysia is an information platform like I explained initially. So we centralize information about bond and sukuk in Malaysia, and we help investor to find this information, and we also help issuer to find this information. The idea about bond before this, because most of this information are paid service before this, and only now we actually centralize it and make it very accessible and create a very transparent market. So why do you need BIGS Malaysia advanced bond and sukuk search engine? So you were able to search by yield, by credit rating, and so on. And then you also have all the document that you need. You can have the offering circular, trust deed, the principal terms and conditions. So the principal terms and conditions where you can find the covenant. And you can also check the credit rating and also credit rating migration. Let's say there's a movement in credit rating, you can check it there. And we can use also the big search function to do price discovery. So meaning that you can actually decide if what you're paying for is actually expensive or not. So that's how you find price discovery. I will show you later. And you also have a very interactive and easy to use calculator. Comprehensive announcement if let's say you are in the certain kind of bond, if let's say you subscribe to certain kind of bond, then you will of course need any announcement come from the bond, so you will know if let's say there's a bondholder meeting or so on and so forth. Right now everything is online, you don't really need it to be sent to your house. And we also provide a lot of research reports. So this research report that we provide is actually very good for retail investor, because we summarize the information, all the news in Malaysia that are related to bond and sukuk. And we also have good articles for beginners for you to learn, and also we also continue to have new articles that are related to market for people that are already in the market. And we have this price discovery. This is an example. You want to do price discovery for 10 years bond. You go to big search, and then you can actually pick if you want to find bond or sukuk. You can choose your category, corporate bond or government bond, and then you can choose your rating. You can actually say that, okay, I want to find bond that actually give me more than 4% only, example. And then I only want to invest within 9 to 10 years. And then I only want this bond to have a certain type of rating. So based on the search function, you will have all the filter for you. So as you can see on this top two, the residual tenure mean the remaining maturity is around the same, 9.4 or 9.2 years. But you look at the last credit yield is different. So this is how you do discovery. So meaning that, basically I can actually purchase it around this price. So if suddenly someone offered you for a ridiculous price, let's say 3%, 2%, and then from there you can see, it's actually a very wrong price. It should be around this price. So this is how you do price discovery. And then we also have BIGS Malaysia mobile app. So in the mobile app, we have all the function same as in website. But on top of that, we have more function. For example, first of all, we actually have this ebook. We'll talk more about the ebook, but this is how you do it. When you download the mobile app, on the first page, you can just click on the download ebook button and you can download the ebook. And we also have the same thing, big bond and sukuk search, where you can do the price discovery, like I showed you just now. And on top of that, we have this favorite function. So favorite function is like when you find a certain bonds and then you favorite it. Once you favorite, it will go to your favorite folder. So from there, you can actually see the movement, the yield return for your bond. And on top of that, if there's any related announcement regards to what you choose, then you will get a notification. So you see on the right, this is the QR code if you want interested to download. I'll give it some time, and also I will have the QR code as well at the end, and you can find it. You can also always type BIGS Malaysia and you can get the mobile app as well. Okay, so this is the ebook, Beginner's Guide to Bond and Sukuk in Malaysia. So we noticed that there's not much information about the fundamentals about bond and sukuk, primarily for Malaysia market. So most of it are theoretical information, most of it are educational kind of information, but not really about investing in the Malaysia market, about what is the structure in Malaysia market. There's not much information out there. So this ebook is very good for beginners, for you to start understand about basic of investing, about what do you need to know about bond and sukuk, what is the risk, and then where can I get all this information. On top of that, we also have this bond buying checklist where you can actually see what kind of things that you have to check before you purchase your bond. And all these are available in the mobile app. So you can just download the ebook here. This is a big Malaysia new function. We have chart comparison. So let's say you want to compare the price movement between two issuer. This is how you do it. So at least you can compare if which one is more volatile, or is it the movement is around the same. So it's up to your creativity and up to what kind of research you want to do, but it will allow it there, and you can actually export it to Excel. So in slide, you can actually export it to image, and in Excel itself, you can actually download it. You just like do your filter, like even like the big search function just now, you just filter it. You only want to find a certain criteria, and then you just export to Excel. It come out in Excel for you to do further research and analysis. And this is a new initiative by Securities Commission Malaysia. This is Big Malaysia SRI page, socially responsible investment. So SC are very big on this. So the idea is to come up with an investment that are sustainable and responsible. So we have this Sustainable and Responsible Investment Center in Big Malaysia website. So you can see the overview and also what is SRI Sukuk and what are labels as a SRI Asian bond. We have all the criteria here. On top of that, we have the article and tutorials that are related to SRI and announcement that are related to them. For example, that there are any announcement related to SRI Sukuk, then you will get an announcement here. On top of that, we have this full listing of SRI Sukuk. Then from here, you can actually identify, you can do more research about SRI, you can study more about SRI. So this is very good for you to do studies, very good for you to do research. This is the information that you need, and no one can give this for you. So we come out to the almost final one. So how do I actually buy bond and Sukuk in Malaysia? So there's actually three methods. The first one is exchange traded retail bond. So this one is by Bursa. You can actually talk to your broker and talk about it that you're interested to buy retail bond, and they have a list of bond that you can actually purchase. The second one is only for high net worth individual, which is the over the counter bond. So this one, if you are a high net worth individual, you can actually go to your private banker and say that you want to buy a certain bond. They can buy it for you. And number three is actually a list of bank provided by BICS. So BICS have this list of eligible distributor, and this eligible distributor can actually sell bond directly to the retail as well. So we have it in our website. So if you go to our news announcement in the middle here, under eligible distributor, we have a list of eligible distributors that are approved by SC. Right now, it's only iFast Capital. So if you click here, you will go to their Bond Express website. So Bond Express allow you to buy bond and Sukuk for as low as 1,000 ringgit. So it's a very good website. You can visit later, and you can actually do your further research using BICS and then do your transaction here. So that's about it from me. Thank you very much for giving some time to hear this talk. I think it will be very good, especially if you are a beginner, or especially if you are confused about all this information and you are overwhelmed with so many information out there. I really do believe that the ebook will be something that very good for you to start, and from there you can get more information, you can get more advice from a professional and so on. So the QR code here, of course, for you to download the mobile app. Download the mobile app, and then you can get the ebook for free. Okay, that's all for me today. Thank you.